Okay, so we'll go ahead and call to order our Santa Cruz Libraries Facilities Financing Authority regular board meeting at 9:05 a.m. Any additional materials for the agenda?
Roll call first.
Sorry,
Roll call.
roll call. Thank you.
Yes. Director Legault.
Here.
Director Palacios.
Here.
Director Hafiker.
Present.
Director Woodmansey.
I'm here.
Okay, next up, any additional items, materials for the agenda?
No, we don't.
Okay, any additions or deletions to the agenda?
None.
Okay, cruising right along. Public comment. Do we have any public comment online or in the room? Okay, seeing none, we're moving on to the library director report. Okay, I'll just refer to the written update in the packet, the board. Moving on to the consent agenda. Does anyone have any item they would like to pull or comment on the consent agenda? And do we have any public comment on the consent agenda? Seeing none, do we have any motions to move the consent calendar?
I'll move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
First and second. We need a roll call.
No, we don't.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next up, general business. This is though we have no general business items. Moving on to project updates and comments by board members. Okay, moving on to scheduled upcoming meetings. Our next meeting is on November 7th, 2024. We'll move on to adjournment. Okay, thank you very much. Next agenda. Yeah, we'll go ahead and call to order our Santa Cruz City County Library Joint Powers Authority Board regular meeting at 9:08 a.m. We have a roll call, please.
Director Legault.
Here.
Director Palacios.
Here.
Director Hafiker.
Present.
Director Woodmansey.
Do we have any additional materials?
Yes, staff received 3 emails relating to agenda item 8I. These have been distributed to the board and are available for public review online under agenda item 13, written correspondence at the end of the agenda, and hard copies are available here.
Okay, thank you very much. Any additions or deletions to the agenda?
No.
Okay, now we'll welcome public comment. Any public comment in the room or online?
No.
Go ahead.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to LJPA. Submitted a lengthy comment about a procedure for when public comment can be given. Number I was board member Goldstein's suggestion to change some wording there, but I thought it was confusing. I didn't know what he meant. So I submitted a lengthy request to clarify that. So I have, because the public should have the ability to quote, pull consent agendas or request that they be pulled, not just flat out everything, approved without public comment. Okay, well, now I forgot the other things I wanted to say, so, thank you.
Thank you for those comments. Do we have any other public comments in the room or online?
Nothing online.
Okay, we'll move on to report by library director. Okay, we have a written report in the packet. Thank you very much. Item 6, report by Friends of the Santa Cruz Public Libraries. Please, thank you.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Sarah Beck. I'm the new Executive Director of Friends of Santa Cruz Public Libraries. I'm very excited to be with you all. I've been here about a month. So I will just very briefly comment and say it's been very exciting for me to get to know the Friends and the many philanthropists and volunteers and advocates that are good friends, and I'm very excited to be working with, obviously, the Santa Cruz Public Libraries. We have a lot of big projects coming up, and I'm just really looking forward to us aligning a lot of our strategic direction with the work of the libraries. And as the needs of the community evolves and as the library evolves, we're going to evolve with them. Thank you all for having me.
Sure, I speak for the board and thank you for your leadership and willingness to serve and all the work that the Friends do on behalf of our library system.
Oh, thank you. We're very excited.
You're welcome. Okay, next item, report by Library Advisory Commission. Do we have a report this morning? Perhaps not. Okay. Then we'll move on to the consent calendar with any member of the board like to speak to or pull an item on the consent agenda.
I'll move approval of the consent calendar.
A second.
We have the first and the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Okay. So moved. On to general business. First up is a presentation status of collection and usage by Sarah Harbison, CMS manager. Welcome.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for having me this morning. I'm here just to kind of present a snapshot of the library's collection and talk a little bit about the challenges we face and if my clicker works.
Just make sure that you have just. What?
Yes, okay, excellent. And it says at the top of that slide, I think we'll see it in just a second, these are the top circulating collections at the library, which is always interesting to see. Most used collections are down at the bottom. Just to kind of keep us on our toes. So the picture books are no surprise to library staff. Most circulating collections. At the library, we see kids coming in and checking out armloads, picture books, which is always really exciting. Followed by adult fiction. Of course, we've got a lot of readers in the community. And then you'll also see a lot of the kids' collections in there as well. The graphic novels, we can't keep enough in stock, it seems. And those are very popular. The DVDs continue to be popular, even with all the streaming services that are now available. We still see increased demand for feature films as well as those TV shows. I just want to mention the read-along box. If you're not familiar with what those are hardcover kids books, like a picture book, and then they have a built-in digital audio. You can put headphones in, and then it does that chime when you ever have the book plus CD or the as a kid, it's the same content. So it'll read the book aloud.
If I could ask a question, where's the nonfiction?
It is not showing in here.
There's no nonfiction in her life.
There is a lot of great nonfiction, and we have a lot of nonfiction readers.
Yeah.
I will look and see what those numbers are.
Perhaps less popular.
I'm a big nonfiction person.
I'll find out where
Okay.
it falls. And yeah, I'm also surprised that it's not in there. That's a great question. I thought it would also be fun just to check in and like what the top 5 and the titles are, the titles for the most checkout. And they all happen to be fiction. Women remains in the #1 spot where it's been for several months now. Yeah, followed by other popular fiction. And then these are the YA, the young adult or the teen titles. And these are interesting to see the top 5 because none of these are brand new titles. Some of these have really lasting power. And they continue to be well read in the YA. And then again, with the children's titles, none of these are brand new. We continue to love Harry Potter and Elephant and Piggy is like eternal. People love Elephant and Piggy. And so looking to our digital collection on Libby or Overdrive, these are our top 5 titles in the past month. And I think this is really interesting because again, we see the women, both in the ebook and the e-audio. But Hillbilly Elegy audiobook is the #1. And so this really shows how we can pivot quickly and be really responsive with that digital collection to patron demand. So as soon as we started seeing demand for that title, we were able to get more copies almost immediately to do that. So a little bit more about Overdrive or Libby as the app is called. We offer ebooks, audiobooks, and digital magazines through Libby and for all audiences. And so this is interesting because you can see that ebooks and audiobooks have about the same usage in the collection. And then the demand is finally growing for digital. Able to offer this. And the trend is going slightly up there, a little bit. But over the past year, we continue to grow with our Libby usage. Okay, so this is collection spending, and this is over the past few fiscal years. We track the percentage of the physical, like spending on the physical things, so things that are actually in the library versus digital. Ebook, the e-audio, the streaming video, our reference databases all fall in there. And then there's mostly a trend for us selling more digital there. There are a couple little updates with the physical that you'll see in fiscal year 22 and 24. And those are when we were purchasing a lot for the opening day collections for those new libraries coming online after their renovations and construction. But this year, we're finally tipping up the projected amount for this year, for year 25. And we're finally tipping into spending more on digital than physical, which is what we expected.
Sarah, if I could interrupt really quick. I noticed at the top of the screen says that we're not broadcasting. We know if that's an issue for streaming.
Oh,
We're streaming directly to YouTube. We're not doing hybrid.
So we're not using the Zoom for streaming. Okay. All right. Sorry for the interruption.
I mean, you could click start webinar to get that for the way if you want. It's not a problem. It's,
Okay. All right. Thanks.
thanks, Yvonne.
yeah.
Okay, and I wanted just to check in on our lendable tech collection, which is something we've had from 2021 during the pandemic closures, where we brought on Chromebooks, Chromebooks, and lendable hotspots. And we've also introduced Fire tablets, which are those Amazon tablets as well. And those have been popular. We just purchased more of those Fire tablets to decrease our holds list, kind of offset demand for some of the Chromebooks. Yeah, we got to 0 holds on the Fire tablet. I don't know if that's true today. I haven't checked the numbers today. but as of a couple days ago, that's where we were. Recently became eligible for more hotspots, the nonprofit where we get a deep discount, really hotspots for free, and then we just pay an admin fee, and then we get a discounted data plan for those hotspots. We're getting more this year, hopefully to mostly eliminate that cold slip. Demand continues to be really strong for internet access in our community. And we're also working with our IT department to get more Chromebooks and get more of those bundles. There's a Chromebook plus hotspot. And they come in one of those shoulder bags, which there, a mouse and a headset. It's been really popular. And then again, the one hand. So I just wanted to show this as how selectors are making decisions about demand, really balancing their budget. So you can see we've got a lot of different formats that we purchase for a title. We purchased 8 print copies of this, which is about right because those are the ones that we're going to want to have stay in our collection for the coming years. Of course, we can always purchase more if we need. We also do a lease program through our book vendor. More popular titles, we lease copies, and then we can send them back when the demand dies down. It's been really helpful for budgeting. And then we have our Lucky Day collection too, which are the titles that don't really hold, but are at a branch. And so there could be really lengthy hold slips for one of those titles. That could be there. No renewal, and you can't place request. So in addition to like a regular print copy, we're also shipping Spanish copies or Spanish editions of popular titles, large print. We still purchase the audio CD for a lot of the more popular titles. Playaway, which are those little devices that you can plug your headphones into, or like the audio jack in your vehicle and listen to the audio. Of course, the ebook and the audio book through Overdrive. We also use Lucky Day copies and Overdrive as well. Really love when you've got a hold on something on Libby, it'll notify you of a Lucky Day copy. Really exciting when that happens.
What does that mean? Can you explain that again? A lucky day.
Sure. So those are the copies that we designate as not filling hold. Show if you go into the Libby app, they'll show as available if there's one of them. And they don't renew. And I think they're just a 7-day right now. So you have to be real dedicated to get through the book in a short amount of time. And then you might notice I've got MA 24 months, which is metered access for the ebook, and then OCOU, which is 1 copy, 1 user. I want to talk a little bit. So for e-content, we have different lending models, and these are publisher-defined purchasing and borrowing. So sometimes we can choose the lending model that we want. Sometimes we don't get to choose. We only get one option when we go to purchase an ebook or an audio. This particular title, we could choose to purchase either or in multiple copies of either. So this 1 copy, 1 user means it's just like a print book. You check it out, only one person can use it at a time until it's returned on its due date or returned. And those sometimes don't have expiration dates. So if we purchase one of those, we can hold on to it years. The metered access are limited. So either concurrent users, like this one, 100 checkouts. If we had 100 people waiting on, just for example, for this title, we can purchase 1 metered access and it would fill all those 100 people all at once, which is really nice. And then sometimes they're bound by a time limit. They might expire after 24 months, and then we have to go and purchase additional copies for the next. There's also a simultaneous use plan that we can get, so these are unlimited, it's usually bound by time, such as 4 months. As many people, as many account holders could borrow, and as many times as it. So an example of that is our digital magazines through Overdraft. That's once a year, and it's unlimited access. We don't get to choose the content, it's usually bundled by the vendor based on the terms that we negotiate.
So which e-readers are compatible? It's Overlook, or what did you call
Overdrive.
it? Overdrive. Which e-readers are compatible with that? Do you know?
Yeah, so any device that's internet enabled, so like a smartphone or tablet, called Libby for iOS, and then you can get it through the Google Play Store as well. And then the ebooks for most of the ebooks offered through Libby or Kindle. So either through the Kindle app on a device or like a Kindle ebook. But again, it's kind of publisher defined terms. Some of the publishers, no, we don't want ours to be available in Kindle.
I have to stop paying for all those monthly subscriptions.
Okay, and then we also see the paper use and the cost per serve funding model. So examples of this are Hoopla and Canopy, and these are, so Hoopla is ebooks, audiobooks, and they do have some streaming video and comments. And then Canopy is streaming video. Some episodic. The fees are, we pay for use, and so it's a set amount for each checkout. We can limit the number of borrows per month, and then there could be a cap on our monthly spending. It's a group part of the budget. The more popular they get, the more usage they get, the higher our monthly invoices are. So we did have to put some limits in place this past spring. We still are offering both Hoopla and Canopy, but they're just a little bit more limited. In this fiscal year, ways that we can restore some of that responsible way. I also want to touch on some of the resources provided by the California State Library. They've been extremely helpful in providing online resources to help the K-12 students. So they have the Gale, some of the Gale databases you can see there, Alexander Street, streaming video and music, and documentaries, teaching books, which are talks and author interviews and vocab lists for books that kids are reading in school. It's an amazing resource. And then also for Anika. And we were very glad this year that as part of the California state budget, the Arts Pass program was renewed. And that it was on the chopping block and all public libraries. We were going to continue to offer these Arts Passes. They've been extremely popular. We have, of course, a lot of state parks. We have 285 passes that are checked out. And then we have a whole list of 286 people waiting for Arts Pass. We were really glad to be able to continue providing these Arts Pass. We brought on some new e-resources this year. One is called College Now. We call Reviews, who also offers Help Now, which is a tutoring resource for K-12 students, and Job Now, which helps job seekers with applications and prepping for interviews and writing cover letters. We're really excited about College Now. They have application resources, admissions interview resources. They can help with financial aid applications, and then they have live admissions coaches. So for certain hours of the day, you can log in and be connected with the admissions coach who can help you through the admissions process. We also brought back the Gale in Contact Losing Viewpoints database. We had taken a year off thinking that that need would be met by some of the databases that the state library was providing. But we heard from our librarians team, and then we heard from educators in the community that they really missed it. We were really glad to bring it back. So the Opposing Viewpoints database offers overviews, news, and opinions on lots of social issues and things happening in the news. It's really helpful to students. So also brand new to us is Link Plus. It's going really well. It's now live on our website. We lent in the past month 342 items, so books and media, so DVDs and CDs, and then our patrons borrowed 216 items. We're anticipating that it's going to get even more popular. Patrons can place their own requests. They don't need the staff mediation that traditional interlibrary loan needs. But traditional interlibrary loan through WorldShare is still being used. It's really good with specialized, technical, and out-of-print titles, and titles that academic libraries that we couldn't get in class. And for patrons who can't find what they want in our collection or aren't able to get through Link Plus, we do have a suggested purchase option. And we have heard a lot from our community about things they would like to see in the collection, either different topics or subjects or authors, or oftentimes it's a title. So our selectors evaluate each of those suggestions that come through against the selection criteria outlined in our collection development. And then just looking ahead, I mentioned we're anticipating increased Link Plus use, which is very exciting to us. We're going to do a diversity audit of our print collection this year, which will produce a report showing us how diverse our collection is, and it's doing well in some places and not as well in others, so be able to review that and respond to it. We're always implementing cataloging changes to improve accessibility to our resources. We're going to apply some retrospective term changes in our library catalog. So some of the Library of Congress subject headings we might make some changes to, or add additional subject headings. As always, we're managing lengthy holds lists. We'll still trying to provide that breadth and depth that we want to see in our collection. And really always we're updating the collection and replacing older editions as they get worn and outdated. And then especially in the nonfiction, we get a lot of outdated stuff that we need to update. So those are the things we're looking to here. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for that presentation. Always impressive to see the breadth of services offered by our library systems. And as a data nerd, really appreciate that. Performance metrics and that additional context. And great to see the strong demand for our services. And it's pretty incredible to see the number of holds for some of our collections and materials. So appreciate that presentation. Thank you. Any questions or comments from the board?
I think you said it all, Matt.
Okay. Moving on. Any public comment? Yes, please.
I just wondered, are there still going to be physical reference books in any of the libraries?
Yes, we still have physical references.
Okay, please.
I was wondering, what is the business model of Libby? Like, do you guys pay to be on that platform and then they host the books and ebooks, or?
Entirely. We pay a platform fee, and then we purchase or license content, as she described earlier, and then they host it.
Thank you.
All right, very good. No action for the board to take on side presentation only. Okay, that concludes our general business. We're moving on to comments by board members. Any comment?
I just want to welcome Christopher. It's our first board meeting with Christopher Platt on board. We're so excited to have you. And yeah, look forward to hearing more as you learn more and get more acclimated to our libraries.
Thank you.
Echo that as well. Christopher and I were joking that it's still fire hose season. As you're coming on board, there's a lot to wrap your arms around, but we're thrilled to have you on board and look forward to your leadership.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to scheduled upcoming meetings. Our next meeting will be on November 7th, 2024 at 9 a.m. at
Downtown, don't get lost.
the downtown branch. Thank you. Just across the street from my office. Get lost, we're in trouble. Okay, moving on to adjournment. Thank you very much. Yeah.
It's over there. Yeah.
You don't